we are kicking things off with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez dominated the New York Mets through 8 innings in a 5-1 victory, pushing for his first career complete game and earning a standing ovation from the crowd after a series-clinching performance. Rodriguez showed incredible command, keeping the Mets to just 1 run, and the team secured a crucial series win for the first time since April 19th.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the New York Mets making a key move to keep former top prospect Christian Scott in their starting rotation. Jard Greenspan breaks down how Scott has successfully adapted his repertoire by replacing his slider with a cut fastball, utilizing a grip from a former teammate to create a new, devastating movement that is making him a strong contender for a back-of-the-rotation role. The situation at the New York Mets is heating up as owner Steve Cohen contemplates a major shakeup, potentially looking to fire top executive David Stearns if continued failures persist. We examine the roster challenges, including the situation with key hitters like Pete Alonso and the gamble on Jorge Polanco, as the team grapples with a disappointing season and the need for immediate offensive improvement. Finally, we dive into the fallout from the Mets' recent roster decisions, focusing on the $20 million signing of Jorge Polanco and the decision to sign Kyle Schwarber. We explore whether this move is the right strategic gamble for the team and what it means for the future of their offense, as we wrap up this edition with more breaking baseball news. Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez nearly secured a complete game against the New York Mets on Sunday, finishing with a 5-1 victory. Rodriguez dominated the Mets through 8.5 innings, holding the opposition to just 1 run. After pitching 91 pitches, Rodriguez requested to return for 10 more to attempt his first career complete game, a request that manager Torey Lovullo ultimately granted. In the 8th inning, Rodriguez recorded a strikeout and a single. The moment Lovullo collected the ball at 100 pitches drew boos from the Chase Field crowd, but Rodriguez received a standing ovation for his series-clinching performance. The Diamondbacks secured a series win, marking their first victory since April 19th. Rodriguez showcased significant improvement, throwing at least 7 innings in back-to-back starts for the first time since arriving in Arizona in 2023 with the Detroit Tigers. His earned run average dropped to 2.25 across 8 starts this season, a marked improvement from a 6.86 era 1 year prior. Catcher James McCann noted that Rodriguez was in attack mode from the first pitch, effectively keeping hitters off balance. Rodriguez allowed only 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks, demonstrating efficiency, particularly through the first 5 innings where he pitched 46 pitches. Offensively, left fielder Ryan Waldschmidt emerged as the standout performer. In his second major league start, Waldschmidt recorded his first 3 career RBIs on 2 hits. He hit a double in the 2nd inning that stretched to the deepest part of the ballpark, his first MLB extra base hit. In the 6th inning, Waldschmidt drove in the 3rd run with a single, and Kettle Mart followed with a 2-run triple to extend the lead to 5-1. Waldschmidt also made a notable play in the 5th inning, leaping into the wall to rob New York's Mark Vientos of a hit. Rodriguez expressed satisfaction with the extended outing, noting, "He already knows how I am. I never want to come out of the game," while Lovullo emphasized a cautious approach to pitch management, stating, "I didn't want him to throw 110 pitches. I didn't want him to throw 105 pitches." The Diamondbacks' rotation has been strong, contributing to a team era of 1.74 across 41.1 innings in the 6-game homestand. The team heads into a road trip against the Texas Rangers and the Rockies starting Monday. Commentary surrounding the pitching management has been mixed, with some critics suggesting cautious management hinders performance, while others point to Rodriguez's physical condition as a key factor in his recent improvement. Rodriguez is reportedly focused on maximizing his performance in his current contract year. The New York Mets are reportedly considering keeping pitcher Christian Scott in their starting rotation, viewing him as a potential back-of-the-rotation starter they desperately need. Despite the team facing challenges that suggest a lackluster season, Scott's recent performance and development have reignited optimism regarding his future role. Pitcher Christian Scott has been making adjustments to his repertoire, notably replacing his slider with a cut fastball, utilizing a grip acquired from former teammate Drew Smith. This new cutter, thrown 1.5 mph harder, exhibits a significant change in movement. Its cervical drop has increased from 25.7 inches to 30.3 inches, causing it to cross the plate lower and miss the sweet spot. Scott has settled into his role effectively, showing confidence in his arsenal. In his last 2 outings totaling 9.2 innings, he recorded 14 strikeouts and a 3.26 earned run average. His pitch mix, featuring 4 seamers, cutters, and a sweeper, creates confusion for batters, as the pitches appear identical coming out of his hand but veer in distinct directions, disrupting the batter's ability to guess. His effectiveness against left-handed hitters has improved significantly, with lefties performing much better than righties, largely due to the strategic use of the cutter, which he employs 34% of the time. Following Tommy John surgery in September 2024, Scott underwent a rigorous rehabilitation, gaining 10 pounds, which translated into increased velocity across his pitches. His repertoire, including a sweeper with 17.5 inches of horizontal break, allows him to target both right-handed and left-handed hitters strategically, using the sweeper as a high-leverage out pitch. While Scott may not be the immediate consensus starter, his willingness to evolve his pitch set is impressing observers. With potential departures of pitchers like Clay Holmes and Freddie Peralta, the Mets are actively seeking options, and Scott's development positions him as a viable candidate to fill a crucial rotation spot. The New York Mets face mounting pressure, with owner Steve Cohen reportedly considering the dismissal of president of baseball operations David Stearns if continued team failures persist. Stearns, who took the helm in the fall of 2023, has presided over a significant regression for the club, following an embarrassing collapse a year prior and currently holding the worst record in Major League Baseball. Cohen, who was initially interested in bringing Stearns to Queens before his tenure began, has ultimately retained him after a previous attempt by the Milwaukee Brewers to block the move. Both Stearns and manager Carlos Mendoza are under scrutiny due to the team's struggles. While contract details suggest Stearns possesses more job security due to longer terms, including a contract through 2028, the situation remains precarious. According to reports, Stearns is likely to be let go if the Mets miss the playoffs in 2026, though Cohen has shown patience by retaining both figures following last year's difficulties. However, the owner has previously expressed annoyance over the lack of postseason success, suggesting his patience is finite. Stearns' recent moves have also drawn criticism. Key roster decisions, such as trading Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien and parting with versatile hitter Jeff McNeil, have not yielded expected results. The trade for starting pitcher Freddie Peralta also carries risk, as the ace could potentially depart in free agency. Fangraphs projects the Mets' playoff chances at just 23%, with projections suggesting an 80-game season. Furthermore, the team's injury situation presents a major concern. Several key players, including Francisco Lindor, Jorge Polanco, and Luis Robert Jr., are currently sidelined, underscoring the urgent need for the Mets to regain health and offensive production to salvage their season. The New York Mets are facing significant roster questions as mounting losses expose potential deficiencies in their lineup, prompting scrutiny over recent personnel decisions. Following the departure of first baseman Pete Alonso, expectations were high for the team to find a comparable offensive replacement. However, the decision to sign Jorge Polanco to a $20 million contract at the designated hitter position has drawn sharp criticism. Analysts suggest this move may have been a misstep, as Polanco has struggled to produce, having homered only once and driven in a pair in his tenure, leading some to label him an offensive punchline. Meanwhile, the team's power production remains a concern. Kyle Schwarber continues to lead the MLB in home runs, currently sitting at 16, and has recently hit in 4 consecutive games. Despite this individual success, the team's collective slugging has lagged, with the Mets hitting just 31 home runs overall, with Mark Vientos leading the team with 5. Critics argue that signing Schwarber, even for a reduced price, could have provided the Mets with the necessary left-handed power bat capable of playing functional defense. Schwarber's ability to hit home runs and take walks offers a different kind of production compared to Alonso's, and his presence could alleviate pressure on Bryce Harper to carry the majority of the left-handed power in the Phillies lineup. Furthermore, removing Schwarber from the Philadelphia Phillies lineup is seen as potentially making that side of the plate one-dimensional. The gamble on Polanco, made by President of Baseball Operations David Stearns, is not yielding the desired results. Polanco is currently sidelined with multiple injuries, including an Achilles bursitis flare-up that has kept him on the injured list for nearly a month. This situation forces the Mets to reevaluate their strategy for the first base position, with decisions looming regarding whether to stick with the current combination of Vientos and Brett Baty or pursue power bat prospects in the minor leagues, such as first base prospect Ryan Clifford, who is working to demonstrate consistent hitting in AAA.